grown 2 different plants of rhubarb in 2 different places, but they've both died. What should I do?
Rhubarb does better in more northern parts of the country where it's colder, but it will grow here if it's given well-drained sites. So if you've got a sandy soil or a raised bed with enough organic matter so it doesn't dry out, you can grow rhubarb here. But the important thing is don't keep it too wet, especially when it's dormant, or it'll rot, and that's probably what happened to yours. If it's in a clay soil, it's very likely to rot as well. So a sandy, well-drained soil is your best bet to make it grow.
Curtis, my name's Curtis Brown, and I've talked to you
meet
before with this plant. I've had it for about 2 years as a plant for my father-in-law's funeral, and so it does have that sentimental value to it, but we've been having this brown, burnt leaves for past year or 2 years, and I just wondered what we could do with it. What do you suggest?
Okay, what we've got here is a peace lily, which is native to the tropics, to a very humid environment. It doesn't like our dry air very much. That's part of the problem. The other part of the problem, though, is the fact that every time we water, there's salt in our water that accumulates in the soil. In time, the plant absorbs it, and it causes this leaf burn. So the combination of salt plus the dry air is causing a leaf burn. What we need to do to this plant is repot it in a well-drained organic potting soil. It has to stay moist, but the water has to flow through it easily as well. So we might want to take a potting soil, add some sharp sand to it. When you repot it, though, take this one out, wash as much of the soil off the roots as you can before you repot it, so you remove a lot of these salts. Then once you've done that, keep it moist, water it, keep it in a fairly well-lit location, but it tolerates good shade. But the important thing now we need to do is be sure that we don't let water soak back up. We can see from the salt stains here, this has been sitting in water. When you water, the water accumulated and it drew back up, so it really did accumulate the salt. This time when you repot it, set it so that when the water comes out of the bottom of the pot, it drains away. Set it on a stack of rocks or something inside a dish that holds the water, but don't let the water, don't let the water soak back up.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Appreciate your help.
This is Master Gardener John Charles from Albuquerque. He has a garden which is made of sand. John, your garden is very sandy. You bought a lot that is sand, but you've been able to turn it into quite a garden. What are the tricks to making sand work as a garden?
Well, actually, I prefer to start with sand. I've set up gardens in other areas of the city when I've lived in other houses where there's been a different texture to the soil, but I prefer sand. What my secret is, and it's really not a secret, is to add lots of organic material to the soil. I apply compost every year in the fall and in the spring. I top dress my lawn, I top dress my raised beds every year. And I think that's the secret, is the organic material that's in that I apply to the garden.
And what's nice about that is compost is made from something we would normally landfill, throw away. So we're actually being very environmental by using compost, which is made from waste material.
That's correct. I also will crumble up eggshells from the kitchen. I will apply the coffee grounds, any kind of organic material. I dress my garden with that material.
Very good. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Gunny's come to us today with a question about her fern plant. Gunny, you got a question?
Yes. I was going to repot the fern, and I pulled it out of the planter, and I noticed all these little knobs on there, and I was wondering what they were.
Okay, well, this is a Boston fern. The Boston fern produces runners, and like a potato, it'll sometimes swell up as a storage organ, and so you've got tubers, which are part of the fern. It's a storage organ, it's part of the plant. It's nothing to worry about. So I wouldn't worry about it at all. Just repot it and be happy with it.
Okay, thanks.
George Duda with New Mexico State Forestry Department is here to tell us why a lot of trees planted in New Mexico landscapes fail to grow, why they die after just a few years in the landscape. George, what's the big problem that you've been seeing?
Well, we see a lot of problem with poor quality stock. People are buying trees that are not really quality. They may have been in the pot too long at the nursery. They have the circling roots, and that spells problems.
You got an example of that, haven't you?
I happen to have an example, Curtis. It's nice that you ask. Okay, here we go. And here is a classic, a rather extreme example of a tree that was bought by someone, and it had been in the pot too long, and it's quite evident what the roots have done. Staying close to the tree, not getting out where they belong. And in addition, this tree was planted way too deep. Should have been planted at a level way down in here. And we see that the roots, the coloration of the bark shows that it was underground way up here. And when this tree was planted, it really had no chance of surviving. Had a person inspected this tree in the pot before they planted it, maybe perhaps they could have gone to another tree and got a better quality tree to plant. So this is one of the reasons why we fail.
Circling roots are a major problem. What would someone do if they bought a tree and they knew they had some circling roots when they bought it?
If the problem isn't too extreme, they can take a knife and score the roots along the side, inside the pot there, on the surface of the root ball.
Just cut through the root ball, cutting those circling roots.
And then plant it. And also, we try to avoid planting a tree in a site that is the exact same configuration as the pot. And we shouldn't be adding a lot of amendments because we may trick the tree into thinking it's another pot. And so plant your tree in a larger area and make sure you have a quality tree.
And I notice right here that this root was gurgling or choking the trunk of the tree right there. You can see the tree's constricted where that root was against it.
This tree tried, but it didn't have a chance.
Waste of money to plant a tree like this.
And it's a waste. It's a sad thing. We expect this tree to produce and to help us, and it doesn't. It can't.
Well, thank you, George.
Thank you very much.